Well, happy June. Welcome to June FabOILous. Woohoo! We are so excited you are here with our team, Amy and Brenda and Renee and me, I'm Paula. We are excited that we're still going through A to Z. You know what we're talking about? Do you remember? We're going alphabetically through not all oils, but some oils. We're trying to hit on some that aren't used quite as much. So this month is I, J, and a little touch on K. So do you know what the K oils are? Message down below. We'll see if you do. Anyways, we are going to start off with Miss Brenda DeRay, and she's going to talk about Intune.
Thank you. Thank you. I am lucky today to be able to talk about Intune. If you don't know Intune, probably because you don't have somebody in your house who has ADD or ADHD. It is in my world. I have it. I probably have 5 of them. I have ADD. My son has ADD, and it was one of the first oils that I got and made me absolutely love doTERRA. It takes me from, I don't know how well you people know people with ADD, but we always have 10 projects going. We get them all done, but we do a little here, we do a little there, we do a little there, we go back over there, we go there, we go there, we go there, but they all end up done, most of them, by the end of the day. And the ones that don't, well, we start with those tomorrow and we just kind of keep going. And it's always at this level, it's always at that pace, just like that. So I have learned to always have one of these beautiful little ones in my purse, in my travel bag, on my kitchen counter, wherever. Depends on the day as to where I am putting it. If I'm going to be out and about with people, I try to put it right at my hairline and go up the back of my neck as high as I can without, so it doesn't make my hair look greasy. And if I'm at home, I'll go right across my forehead. And then sometimes I'll go down my forearms. I don't know why I do this one. I just always have. I'm sure Amy could fill us all in on those points that are there, but so anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit about we have the kids as well, and all of a sudden the name of it's escaping me, but it does come in the kids blend as a diluted one. Thinker. Yeah, so you know, if you have kids, and this, because this can be kind of strong because it has amyris, patchouli. So Paula, don't use this. Frankincense, lime, ylang ylang, Hawaiian sandalwood, and Roman chamomile. And if I sat here, I could probably talk on this one for an hour, because then I could break those apart and kind of give you the reasons why this makes such an absolutely wonderful blend. And I will tell you that if I grab a bottle of ylang ylang, it makes me just want to, but blended in this, same with, and I know patchouli used to be really strong for me, but I think it's because I've been using this so much, it's not as bad, and it doesn't smell like hippies anymore to me. So, you know, we're going to go into the physical properties of my Essential Life book. Top use, ADD, ADHD, over, under, active brain activity, mental clarity and focus, calming and grounding, nervousness, anxiety, and depression, stress and hyperactivity, mid-afternoon slump, and this one way down at the bottom is seizures. So it's, you know, just because it does have that lime in it, be careful if you're going to use it outside. Definitely do under the back of the hair so that it's not exposed, because the lime does have that photosensitivity into it. So, you know, you can also, I put it here because that's why I do it, because I can quickly get a whiff if I need to actually come down a little bit more. You can do it on the bottom of your feet. If you're going out and you don't want anybody smelling it, that's always a great application for it. I'm going to dive in now to our other fabulous book, the Essential Emotions book. The Intune is the oil of presence. So what it really does is, and I try to explain this to people, like I have all of this going on here and it's constantly going. This just brings it right in and does this for me. I've had other people say that as well. So it's, again, a great oil. It gently guides the soul into full awareness of its physical body and physical surrounding. It invites individuals to accept the reality of their life situation so they may deal with it appropriately. This blend especially encourages individuals to live in there and now, and therefore promotes a meditative state. Its stability and grounding energy supports a healthy connection between the body and the mind. With the support of Intune, individuals are empowered to live fully connected connected in the present moment. Again, I can't say enough about this. If you haven't tried it and you have attention issues, give it a try. It really does bring that brain right into focus. And I can't say enough good things about this. With that, we go from the brain and the thinking over to food. So Miss Renee is going to talk about the Italian blend.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Hey, I just want to say, I'm so glad you guys are jumping on and watching these, because if you have 30 minutes, these videos are only 30 minutes and you get to learn so much in 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes goes by like that. And sometimes they're not even 30 minutes, but our max is trying to hold these to be 30-minute long. So anyways, we're going to talk about Italian blend, and it's such a special one because you can't buy it. It was only during a special that doTERRA brought to us, and it came in a 3-pack. So I'm going to show you, this is what I actually have on my counter in my kitchen. The reason why is because I cook with oils. Are you surprised? So I like to have these out and available so they're not in a cupboard and I don't forget about them and I'm like, oh, I should have used this one after I cooked. No, I have it right on my counter so they're easy to pick and stuff. So one of the ones that we're going to talk about today is the Italian blend, and I'm going to put this so it doesn't fall. And it came in a 3-pack, as I just said. It came with Mexican, tropical, and Italian. So this was a 3-pack. It was a special. That's why it's so exciting to jump on those specials that doTERRA comes out with. And I know when they teased me, I was making sure that I knew exactly when it was going to come out because I really wanted these. So I don't have much background in the modern essential books or the emotional side of it, because it's strictly just cooking and putting it into your food to put natural flavors in your food. So Italian, let's talk about what's actually in it. So it's olive oil, thyme, rosemary, marjoram, and oregano. Who doesn't love that blend? So you can put it in your spaghetti, you can put it in your meatballs, you can put it in anything that you have Italian. And one of the things that Amy just started talking about is diffusing it. Why don't we diffuse it when you're watching Sopranos and get that Italian feel that's surrounding you while you're watching something fun. Put it in your pizza sauce, put it in anything that you're doing with Italian. And again, I know we talked about this many months ago about using the toothpick process, but I'm going to remind you. So sometimes a drop might be too much. So make sure you take a toothpick, pop it in the hole, drop it over, and then stir that around into your food, because you can keep adding it. You just can't take it out. So it's the best way to get this natural flavor into it. I have been using this. I think it came out in 2020, ladies. I think it was 2020, either 20, I don't think it was last year. So, and I literally have this much gone because I use the toothpick. So when people say oils are expensive, they're not, people, because you don't use that much. So again, all you do, and I think I usually use about 2 or 3 swirls, and that's it. And my flavor is so powerful and so good. And guess what? It's natural. It's natural flavoring, guys. So there you go. That's my excitement on the cooking. And comment below if you have any questions. We'd love to help you and guide you through all this. So I'm going to pass it off to.
I want to add something really quick. I'm sorry. You know, when you were talking about the pizza sauce, you know what I thought of is, you know, that really good bread dipping oil, like that they have. Oh, could you imagine? Like you put your little plate of olive oil and then you put, and then put a couple drops of the Italian oil in that, bam,
Oh,
bam.
sorry.
And your crostinis.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're making bruschetta, like drizzle that on there. Like, oh yeah.
Dude, I think I'm going to put it in the diffuser when I want them to think I worked really hard on dinner, but I didn't.
There you go. Perfect.
Love that idea. That's so fun. Sorry, I had to share.
All right. Well, I think it's my turn, right? Is it me? It's all about jasmine today. Who knows about jasmine? I will tell you, this teeny little bottle right here, I earned this little bottle of Jasmine Absolute about 10 years ago. I was at an event with Dr. Hill. If you don't know who he is, drop a comment and we got a lot of info for you. But I won it in one of his classes that he was doing. And at very first smell, I was in love, to the point that this lives in my safe. Sounds kind of funny because I'm always saying you're worth it, use your oil, you're worth it, use your oil. But now I have it in the touch, so I actually use it every single day. I still stash this one because you know it takes 21,000 petals to get a 5 ml bottle of Jasmine Absolute. It's why it took so long for us to get it where we could purchase it, right? Remember, it's in the touch. You don't lose any of the scent. It still smells so divine. I just love it. Usually I cover the physical stuff first, but hey, you know, I'll feel a little wonky. We're going to go backwards on this one. Jasmine and the Emotions book. Jasmine, nature's healthy sexuality. It may also arouse dormant passions, assisting individuals to regain interest in sexual experience. It asks individuals to honor and respect themselves and others. Encourages the release of sexual suppression or resistance due to traumatic experiences. And if you don't understand that, message us and we'll talk to you about it. Jasmine brings forward unresolved sexual experiences and facilitates the healing process. So I know that many of us, and I won't give you my experience, but I have experiences too. And it's probably why I love this oil at very first smell, because I had some serious emotional healing to do that had to do with sexuality. Jasmine can assist both kinds of common compensations, those who fear, repel, or resist the sexual experiences, as well as those who obsess over or are fixated on sexuality. It's balancing for individuals who use sex to fill a desperate need for love and approval, as well as individuals who resist sexual intimacy. That's not just for young people. A lot of people, all age groups, fall into those two categories. So Jasmine supports the resolution of sexual issues, encourages safety within intimate relationships. So I'm just saying, emotionally speaking, this thing is the bomb. But past emotional, like if you don't have those issues and you are lacking the sexy stuff, you know, you can take a bottle of coconut and make up your own wonderful massage / lubricating blend. What? You know, you hear about that a lot from me, I think. But put a little jasmine in there. Have fun with it. You can add, and the reason I keep rubbing my eyes because I had opened up this Japanese peppermint and then I touched my eyeball, which is why I keep dabbing. So remember, some of these are spicy. Where else do you like spicy stuff? So if you put a little peppermint in with your jasmine, add it to your coconut. You need to have the coconut, folks. Woo! I'm just saying, there's some places you can put that are really amazing. Some up top, some down below. Good for the man too. And if there's peppermint in there, it kind of helps something go a little longer. I'm just saying, if you don't understand that, I don't know what to say. Okay, so hopefully I'm not embarrassing anybody, but let's get real. We all have sex. Rather it's you by yourself, you or the woman, you or the man. We all have sex. You might as well find out some good stuff to put in there. Ylang-ylang is one of my favorites to put in there too, just saying. Okay, back to the books. You just have to have a little Paula in here. I can't help myself. Historical uses. Okay, you know, when they dig up tombs, do you know that they find jasmine in there? It's been around a long time. So historically, known in India as the Queen of the Night and Moonlight of the Grove, women have treasured jasmine for centuries for its beautiful aphrodisiac-like aroma. You thought cinnamon was good. You need to get some jasmine. In any religious traditions, the jasmine flower symbolizes hope, happiness, and love. So it's been used all over the world in religions of all different kinds, like since the dawn of man, right? Since they discovered the jasmine, the flower. It's an oil that affects emotions, which we just talked about, deeply affects those emotionals. As a cologne, it increases feelings of attractiveness. Do you know that you can drink it? I didn't know that. I found a little recipe in here to dilute 1 drop in 1 teaspoon of honey and mix in a hot beverage. And you can also have it in soy milk or regular milk. So I think I might try that because I'm so attracted to jasmine and I can practically taste it when I smell it. So I think I'm going to do okay, I'm going to do a hot toddy. I'm not even going to lie. I'll throw it in a hot toddy and we'll try it that way before I put in the whiskey. And then after, who knows, whatever. It's an equalizer, a modifier, and an enhancer. Surprisingly, this stuff works for pink eye. Who knew? Right? You got some viruses going on. Let's talk about that for just 1 second. You can apply it neat or inhaled, right? Works for hoarse voice, works for pink eye. It's also an antidepressant and antispasmodic. So my brain went to, because I have IBS issues, and sometimes that spazzing of the belly is kind of horrific. So now I know that this is actually in my arsenal. And if you're rubbing it on your tummy and it takes care of the spasms, you're right there by your uterus, you might be getting some other feelings going on. So sorry. That's my tidbit on jasmine. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I really don't know what it would have been. Oh yeah, labor, childbirth. When people are having their contractions, when you're rubbing this on their uterus area, on the back if they're back labor people, on the front if they're front labor people, and it helps them through their contractions. People who are overdue, it is also another one that you can rub externally. I will tell you, I know people that put it on a tampon and stick it up when they're overdue, but medically I can't tell you to do that, of course, but hey, you're adults, do whatever you want. All right, I am passing it on to the amazing Miss Amy.
Thanks so much. Oh man, I am loving this month. So I'm hoping you guys are feeling super excited about summertime and really enjoying the vibe. We're talking food, we're talking focus, we're talking sassy, sexual stuff. I am going to actually talk to you about an oil that I wish I knew about from the very beginning when I was in doTERRA. It didn't actually come out for a little while though, but it is the oil juniper berry. It just comes in a little small 5 ml and it is really an understated, this one's actually almost gone. I cherish this one. It is really one that I think is underutilized and people don't realize the powerhouse that it is. We've been talking, if you got to catch our workshop last month, we talked a lot about liver issues, the things like that, with the geranium oil, supporting the liver. And geranium is actually in Zendocrine detoxification blend, and so is juniper berry. So it is such a valuable oil that they actually include it into other blends like that. So I'm going to dive in a little bit more into the physical piece before the emotional aspect, because I really think this is one that a lot more people could be using and don't realize it. So this actually is a great one to, like I said, support the liver, but let's expand it into the kidneys and the bladder area. If you are someone who is always getting kidney stones, UTIs, bladder issues, things like that, right? We're talking about anything in that area, this is going to help. This is has diuretic properties, right? We don't want you necessarily taking it for that, but if you are dealing with water retention, maybe from pulmonary disease or something like that, this can be really helpful in helping with that. This is also really good for ulcers. So if you are stressing and you're finding that you have ulcers, this is a great one for that. Also good for arthritis. So we're covering a lot of internal, but then also we get into the achy and the joints with that, which again, a lot of people don't realize. We mentioned this last month too. Ironic that we are talking about it with a lot of the oils that tie to the liver, right? Okay, so we're back to the liver, and this is a great oil, juniper berry, to help with alcoholism. And we know that people who suffer from alcoholism a lot of times end up doing liver damage, right? Are you seeing how these kind of all tie together in this way? So juniper berry can not only help heal the liver from any damage that has been happening, from the alcoholism, but it can allow the body to maybe get over that addiction to alcohol, which is really great. This is also another really good one for tinnitus, which we talked about again last month with helichrysum. So we're seeing a lot of overlap. And I know for a lot of people that can be a little frustrating because there's so many oils and every oil does so many things. But I really encourage you to use your intuition. If one oil covers more properties than others, if you are dealing with somebody in your household that has tinnitus and you deal with kidney issues, hey, this would probably be a really good one for you. If your budget is a little smaller and you can't do the helichrysum for tinnitus, then try juniper berry. We know that everybody's body's wired a little differently. So sometimes we have to, kind of play with oils and try different ones to see which one clicks in best for our body. But juniper berry is a staple in my household. The reason why I said earlier that I wish I would have known about this one, and it really actually kind of hit me even more when I was researching for this workshop tonight. My daughter, when she was born, she was 2 weeks old. She spiked a fever and we went to the emergency room. They did a spinal tap and a bunch of other tests on her to find out that she had something called kidney reflux. Now that means that she was getting horrible UTIs for the whole first year of her life. And the tubes from her bladder to her kidney weren't fully formed. They had like jagged edges, which led for infection, which, let me remind you that this is a really great antiseptic and it is a great one for cleansing infections. Hey, remember we said UTIs, okay? If I would have known juniper berry existed back then, I would have been putting that on her night and day versus the year of antibiotics that I had to do that destroyed her gut, gave her horrible diaper rash, and she would scream and cry every time we changed her diapers. It was horrible. I felt absolutely horrible. I didn't know any different. Ironically, let's fast forward about 8 years later. She is struggling to fall asleep. And we have tried the lavender, and we have tried every other serenity, all of the other common oils to fall asleep. Guess which is the oil that is for her sleep oil? Juniper berry. If we go to the emotions book, right, this is actually the oil of the night. So we're seeing a lot of overlap again. I love this when the pieces kind of come together. This oil assists those who fear the dark or unknown aspects of themselves, but also just the nighttime aspect. So if you have little ones who are just afraid of the dark, right? Maybe they are just struggling. They don't want the lights off. They don't like to go to bed, right? And they really struggle to fall asleep. This oil might be one that you want to try, okay? This helps with fears that maybe they've coming through their head at that time of night. Sometimes our eyes plays tricks on us and we start imagining the worst, right? This can really start to calm that down. Helps with irrational fears, reoccurring nightmares. If you are somebody that are having reoccurring nightmares, juniper berry is an amazing one. If you are always having disrupted sleep in some way, shape, or form, juniper berry can help with this. It is also helps you to feel a little bit more protected and a little bit more self-aware, which there is so many great emotional benefits to juniper berry that if you have not looked into this oil, I really encourage you to incorporate this into your oil stash, or I like to call it my oil arsenal. It really has a sweet smell to it with a little bit of the tree, the root, pine tree-ish, but it's the berry, the sweet part of it before like the pine cone and the whole thing festers. So it is really a light, sweet smell, in my opinion. I kind of feel like it smells like a little bit like a baby carrot. So when we would do it for my daughter for sleep, we would actually put it around her ears, just like in front of and behind her ears, maybe on her forehead, maybe on her chest, someplace that she could smell it, right? And then if we were to be using it when she was having all of those kidney issues when she was a baby, we would probably just be applying it topically to the kidney, liver areas. You also can use this by diffusing it. So you could diffuse it in your diffuser at night. And you can also place a drop under the tongue or put it into veggie caps if you are wanting to use it for UTIs or kidney infections or bladder infections like that in that way. So juniper berry, bang. Okay, go Paula, yeah, go.
I just have to throw in one thing about juniper berry. So we're a wild game eating kind of family over here, you know, javelina, deer, antelope, elk, whatever. And sometimes, depending on where you get them, they're gamey. Like, they even smell a little funky in the crock pot. So a trick I learned was, do you remember Renee talked about food and how you use oils in food? So I almost said Q-tip, not a Q-tip. Don't use Q-tip. Toothpick. Put a toothpick into the juniper berry, and you're going to do that 3 total times. Start with 2, see how you like it, but I do 3. And then I stir it around in whatever broth is in with that meat, and it eliminates the gaminess.
With the juniper berry?
Juniper berry. But
Wow.
this is like kind of like a rinse before you cook it. It's not as you're cooking it. It's before you cook it. Like you can do milk or buttermilk, or some people do like chicken broth over, like when you find out that you have like a really gamey one, then you do the toothpick with the juniper berry and get that, and just kind of let that rest in that juice for a couple hours, and then
like a
clean
brine
it off and then cook it. What's that?
like a brine kind of, huh?
Yeah, but it helps pull the gaminess out of that meat. I just had to throw that in there because I love that we touch on some of those same, you know, foods and all that. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that one. I never would have thought of that. I just probably would have steered clear of eating the game meat. But if it's something that you do, and
you pay more when you're hunting to get that food than you do going to the store and buying it.
Truth. Brent, did you have anything you have to add until okay, I'm going to jump in then. And I'm going to talk really quickly about K's. Now, most of you, when you saw we were talking about I, J, and K this month, were probably like, there's no K's. But just like Renee brought up with the Italian food blend and those other food blends, doTERRA is always coming up with special blends or special little new ones to put out there. And a couple of them, and Paula, if you'll hold them up, were just recently over the last couple of years in our holiday catalog. So there's Quintana. That one is in a mister. So it's like a perfume, a personal perfume blend. And then Kali, Kali, which is another personal roller blend, right? That you can put on, it's a personal aroma. So creating perfumes blends with those. So those are 2 Ks, but there is a single oil K that doTERRA did put out. What did we decide? It was about 2015. So if you were in it, in doTERRA and loving the oils back in the day, you may have been lucky like me to be able to get kumquat, which is so awesome of an oil. It is really light, sweet, fruity, love it. Great one you could add in if you were cooking again, but I seriously covet this one and cherish it because of the emotional benefits of it. And you know me, right? Really quickly, because I know we're trying to keep this short and tight. Kumquat is the oil of authentic presence. This is a key word that we're hearing all over society right now, is be your authentic self. Authenticity, that's a really like cliche phrase right now. And kumquat is the oil that will help you do it. So if you were a lucky person who got this back in the day when they did a summer pack, do you have that summer pack still, Paula? They had it in with green mandarin, which now they've created a big size and included it. Yeah, it was in that little summer pack thing. And so you could get these are those specials are really, you want to jump in on them when you see them, because we never know if they're going to come back. And yes, green mandarin. I think that's when they also introduced pink pepper, which is why I'm secretly waiting for them to bring forth kumquat, because they had brought forth pink pepper or they brought forth green mandarin. I'm like, yeah, bring it to us. But just like Paula said with jasmine, sometimes we need to wait until the sources catch up so we can really not impact the wild nature in that way. So okay, kumquat is the oil of authentic presence. So this is for people who maybe feel like there's certain places you have to put up a facade, You know, if you have to kind of fake to be happy, right? Maybe if you're kind of running into some passive aggressive people, put a little bit of kumquat on you and hug them. You can help your facade and you can help their passive aggressiveness. This is going to help you feel a lot more honest, more sincere in your dealings, a little bit more aligned, real in that way. It is just really, like I said, it is a good one in and of itself by itself, but to pair it with pink pepper or with black pepper even, great combinations. So we do have a K. It does exist. And if you were lucky enough to join in to any of the specials or the holidays, hopefully you have a K in your day. And we are going to wrap up this June FabOILous Workshop. We absolutely love you guys coming to us and sharing this time with us, because we have seriously so much fun. And so we hope you have fun too. Comment below if you have any questions. If there's any other oils, maybe A through K, that we haven't talked about in one of the workshops that you want to learn more about, we can let you know. But we are excited to come to you next month with the L's. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of L's. So be ready. We'll see you guys next
See you in
month.
July.
See ya.